Stalker 2 is a really fun but difficult first-person shooter. So of course at first you've got to choose your difficulty of the game, which is between Rookie, Stalker and Veteran, and I personally chose Stalker, which is sort of like medium, because obviously I play a lot of games. I didn't want it too hard, didn't want it too easy, and I play a lot of first-person shooter games, so I thought that'd be fine. But honestly, even for me, this is really difficult, and I can't imagine playing this on Veteran, to be honest. So in this game, prepare to die a lot because there are so many things against you in this world. You notice when you get into the game, the map of Stalker 2 is actually really big, which is a good thing in most games, and even in this game I like it, but it does make the game even more harder. And the reason for that is because most of the time you're going to be walking the whole map in this game, because the fast travel, it's only in certain places you can fast travel, and when you get to these places, it's really expensive as well, and the money in game is really useful and you don't really want to spend it fast traveling, so it's probably better to just walk it. So that's why it makes it more difficult, because obviously walking in the game is deadly. And as I said, your money in game is so important, so you don't really want to be spending it on fast traveling when you need it for stuff like ammo, for food, because in game you're going to have to be constantly eating as well, and then you're going to have to buy it for like medication or drinks for like lowering your radiation, because if your radiation levels get too high then you also die. So while you're walking around this massive map, it's probably a good idea if you explore and loot places, because you're not going to have money all the time. The only way you can get money is by completing missions, and the problem is you're going to run out of that money at some point. So looting is so important because you're going to need stuff like food and ammo, but also you can find really good stuff like gear and weapons which will actually help you in the game, and trust me, you're going to need everything that you can in this game. And of course, the more you play and the more missions you complete, the better gear you're going to get and the better weapons and everything. But there's one thing that I've really noticed in the game, which I didn't really notice until later on, is that sometimes it's actually better using a pistol than it is like a machine gun that you find, because I was using obviously machine guns and shotguns and never using my pistol on a lot of creatures in the world. But it turns out like the pistol's better because it's got more accuracy and you can actually like hit them on target, whereas the machine guns or the shotguns, you can actually miss a lot of your shots. And not missing your shots is so important in this game, because obviously you take a lot of damage, but you also do a lot of damage. So I think it's more important actually just hitting your shots than, you're thinking that it's a better weapon or not. It doesn't matter if it's a pistol. If you just get a couple of your shots in, they're dead. So this leads me to the combat in the game, and the combat in this game is actually really fun and really realistic, but obviously this makes it difficult at the same time. So while you're in combat, it's a good idea to have like cover, stay in cover and shoot behind cover, because if you're out in the open, you're going to die pretty quickly, to be honest. So as I said before, you take a lot of damage, but you also do a lot of damage. So you just got to try and hit most of your shots and not get hit yourself. But there is actually a few missions where you can actually do it like sneakily, so you don't have to actually like use a lot of your ammo or get into big fights. A lot of the missions you can actually just sneak around, go behind the enemies, kill them, but of course that is also sometimes harder because it's hard to sneak at the same time, and if you do get caught, they can sort of pounce on you out of nowhere. The thing is, in this game, you're not always in combat with like other people or different creatures. You're actually like sort of fighting against the weather, running away from the weather, because you've got like these random lightning strikes that can just hit you and kill you instantly. Like honestly, in this game, the weather is almost always bad. It's like it's always raining. There's always like storms. It's always dark. I mean, at one point I actually had to turn up my brightness because I felt like the game was too dark. So they've actually done a really good job of making this place look like a real post-apocalyptic place to live. It's just always dark, gloomy. It just honestly looks a horrible place to live. While in this horrible post-apocalyptic world, you'll always be hearing intense music, and to be honest, it doesn't matter if you're in combat or it doesn't matter if you're just walking around, you're going to hear it, and the game is always intense, so it does actually make sense. I'm actually really enjoying Stalker 2 at the moment, but there's only a couple of things that I'm actually not so keen on. The first one is the accents.
Here's how to escape the Lesser Zone.
Just one, but I need an artifact. There's one in the cave nearby.
What kind of cave?
just a cave. Nothing special about it.
But it has to be me that goes there, not you.
All right, there's an anomaly field there. That's it, really.
When they talk in English, they have literally no accent whatsoever. And, I'm comparing this to Metro now, is when they talk in English, they have an accent. And it makes me feel more immersed, like I'm actually there. But in Stalker 2, I don't feel like I'm actually there that much because they've got no accent whatsoever. They're just like talking like normal basic English, like they're not from Ukraine or Russia. And that's what I like. I like to feel immersed in games like this. And I feel like I would feel more immersed if they had accents. Another thing that I'm not so keen on is when exploring the world, I feel like there's just too many random groups of people. Like you'll have groups of people that attack you, but you'll also have some groups of people that are on your side and will help you as well, which I do like, but I feel like there's just too many like that spawn. I just feel like, it's constantly spawning. And I feel like, there shouldn't be that many people exploring, or, if there is, change it around a bit. But it just literally feels like they spawn too often, and the game is hard as it is, and you gotta like use your ammo and like heal up on just random armies constantly. But honestly, the best thing about this game is that you can save literally constantly and whenever you want, because saving in this game is so important. Because as I said, as you can tell, the game is so difficult, so you're gonna have to keep constantly saving before a mission, before a fight. It's just so important to just keep on saving, because that's what I keep doing. So as you can tell, the game is actually quite difficult, but honestly it's so fun and realistic. So if you like games like Metro, you're gonna love this. And the best part is it's on Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass and you haven't got much to play and you like first person shooters, like, you're gonna really like this. But just be prepared that you're probably gonna die a lot. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on this. Have you played the game? If you have played the game, what do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you not like it? And if you haven't played the game, are you going to play it?